Hello, good morning, happy Friday. Happy Friday. I am here in my own home. No more car chats. We have moved into our new home, and this is one of the areas that I've kind of finished putting together. And it's very fun. It's very, very fun to be here. So I just want to give it a few minutes before I pop into my main reason for coming on today, just to let people come on if they can. I do want to say that I have some podcasts ready to publish, but my computer is on. It's not behaving. It's not behaving. So I have a part coming in today that should fix it. So hopefully I can post it soon. It's actually a series that I'm gonna be posting, and it's called Survival Mode, and it just really talks about what stress does to us, our body and our soul and our spirit, and kind of what science says and what scriptures say. And it was so exciting and so fun to kind of unpack some of that stuff. So I'm excited to publish those podcasts and to even continue the conversation and talk more about it. But so that hopefully will happen soon. So I posted on Instagram a quote from Revelations, and it says, hold on to what you have so no one can take your crown. And I thought that verse was very suitable for this week for me and my life because, I didn't, when I posted it on Instagram, I just didn't want to write it all out. So I'm like, I just have to do a live about this. So the thing is, we just moved and I just started going to this new women's group. And, so I went on Tuesday morning and I opened up my mouth and, it's a big group and I only know one person there. And I opened up my mouth and I shared and I talked. And the next morning when I woke up at 4 a.m., just because it was kind of a restless night's sleep, that entered my brain, that moment, or the day before what happened at this women's group. And I started thinking about what I said and how I was received and what people thought of me and what if they misunderstood what I was trying to say. And all of these insecurities just started to really surface. And I spent some time where just telling myself to stop. That's not true, and to just set it aside and try and go back to sleep. It just wasn't working, right? So I got up and I did some work, and I think this is important when it comes to addressing renewing a mind. When it comes to renewing our mind, I feel like so many times we'll have these negative thoughts come at us, and we'll start feeling nervous or anxiety, and then we try and rebuke the thoughts or dismiss them, and we say a truth and we just try and go on with our lives, right? And we spend so much time, I feel and so much energy on just batting thoughts away, when really it's been proven that the best way to handle the negative thoughts and the lies is to actually address them. Our brain, we're really smart, and the brain isn't going to just automatically stop the course that it's on when we tell it to stop, but when we can actually stop what we're doing and address the thought, so I got up and I just wrote out some of the thoughts that I was having, and then kind of just had this conversation with myself, okay, is that really true? Why would I think that? And what are some things that prove that that's wrong? When I think about the situation I was in and the women the room I was in, the people that were in the room with me, and they were sisters in Christ, and the characters there, and the truth, of course, what God has said. So when we like actually are gentle with ourselves, you know, like talk to ourselves nicely instead of saying, no, don't think that, that's dumb. But to like, oh, okay, well, let's really talk that out and figure out, you know, and that like maybe took me 10 to 15 minutes to just write it down, address the thoughts and be like, oh, okay, I can dismiss that, right? Like it's, instead of, you know, I feel like we just go throughout our days and we just try and like spend energy swatting the thoughts when really if we could just stop for 10 minutes and address them, we can move on with our day and save ourselves so much angst, you know? I feel like this is a very crucial part in renewing our mind that we don't always talk about. So that's one thing that I wanted to share. But then I also, the other day, as I was doing this, so I did that, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to just be quiet and hear I want to hear what the Lord has to say, because it's this quiet morning, and I have this moment, and I did all this work, but I want to hear what God has to say. Like, Lord, okay, what do you have to say? And it kind of went into this visualizing, where I just kind of visualized myself climbing up into God's lap and remembering that I'm his daughter, and kind of just feeling him rock me back and forth and be in his arms and the comfort of him, you know. And just sensing that was just so good. And then from that, I was like, but God also, because I'm praying that I want to view myself as God views me. Like, Lord, help me to see me the way you see me. And then remembering that he doesn't just see me as his daughter. Like, he doesn't see me just as this little girl that needs to be taken care of, but he also sees me as this confident woman, right? Like, he calls us royal warriors. And so, like, picturing myself as this, maybe just sitting down and having coffee with Jesus and my friend and engaging in conversation, like, you know, when you're like with somebody and they're like looking you right in the eye and they're totally with you and you're super engaged and they're acknowledging everything you're saying, and then they chime in, like hearing Jesus chime in with some enlightening and encouraging and challenging things, like that's, and then at the same time we can have like these belly laughs. Like, that's the type of relationship I have with him as well, like as he sees me as this companion, right? And then I also saw myself as his, you know, he's the lover of our soul. He desires us. He is jealous for us. He loves us, not just as a friend and as a daughter, but also as a bride. And so picturing myself almost like on a date, you know, with God, and being that confident woman across the table that is desirable and funny and engaging and intriguing, just so picturing myself as this woman in God's eyes gave me this just a confidence, a thrill, a joy, this overwhelming joy and gratitude, really. So much gratitude that the Lord would love me this much and that he would be that for me. You know, that, gosh, that he loves me so much that he wants to give me everything. That he wants to give me all of my desires. And then looking around and seeing what he has given me and just the gratitude, you know? And so those were some things that really helped me just this week in dealing with anxieties. And so I just wanted to share them. I just hope that they would encourage you. Does that like resonate with anybody? Is anybody encouraged by that? Or, I don't know. Have you ever experienced those kind of, like when you wake up in the middle of the night and just anxiety? I know I'm not the only one. Anyway, I hope that that encourages you guys today and that you have a great weekend. I just wanted to share those thoughts, and I hope they bless you today. Okay, that's it. I'll see you later.